Good Wednesday morning. I'm Kristen Durand, and here's a look at your Fastcast digital headlines for July 16th. In today's top story, Alaska's public broadcasting hangs in the balance as the Senate narrowly advanced President Trump's $9 billion spending cuts package Tuesday as a Friday deadline looms. The rescissions package, which effectively gives back $9 billion in previously approved funding for foreign aid and public broadcasting, passed by a procedural vote of 51 to 50, with Vice President J.D. Vance breaking the tie. Senator Sullivan's office telling Alaska's news source he was directly part of the negotiation that will restore some Alaska public radio station funding. It adds important context after Senator Sullivan voted to move forward with the debate, while Senator Murkowski voted against that. It comes as Alaska Public Media has been saying their more than 25 statewide stations will have to make major cuts if the administration's rescission bill passes. They worry that would be especially detrimental to rural communities. What this could mean for the rural public media stations, where this funding would come from, and who would receive it is still unclear. Alaska Public Media President and CEO Ed Ullman says he was blindsided.
The position of Senator Sullivan's office, I can tell you for a fact that multiple folks in the state of Alaska and have explained to the senator and his office how this works. So, and how CPB is essential to ensuring that the 27 public media outlets in Alaska can remain in operation. So this isn't even a compromise. It's not going to work.
Ullman said Alaska stands to lose more than $30 million in federal funding over the next 2 years if the bill is passed. Camping in certain parts of the municipality of Anchorage is now a criminal act after a lengthy discussion and a narrow vote by the Anchorage Assembly. The rule officially makes it a criminal misdemeanor to camp in certain public areas of the municipality. This includes within 200 feet of roads, trails, railroads, and runways, as well as waterways, and 500 feet from schools and playgrounds. Construction or possession of construction materials with an intent to build a structure on these lands is also a misdemeanor. Criminalizing camping has been unpopular with many who spoke out against the ordinance, as well as a few members of the Anchorage Assembly. The ordinance will go into effect next Tuesday. The superintendent for Alaska's largest school district announced a layoff, and staff reassignment notices will go out just weeks before students return to school. Superintendent Jarrett Bryant made the announcement, citing both state cuts and federal education funding being frozen before July 4th. In a message to families Monday, Bryant issued a warning and call to action, saying public education is being undermined by, quote, unstable decision-making, delayed funding, and systemic negligence. Alaska's news source is working to find out how many and the kind of positions that will be or are laid off. Bryant says the Federal Department of Education froze nearly $46 million in federal education grants statewide on July 3rd. Those were budgeted to support things like special education, after-school programs, and English learner services. Updates to these stories and more can be found right here on our website. Have a great day, and thanks for watching.